Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Run 50 States My Way. I'm Ashley. March is drawing to a close, and for those of you who don't know, March is Women's History Month. So today's vlog, I just wanted to take a moment and celebrate women runners everywhere. For those of us who never thought we could run or who never thought we were strong enough to run, this vlog is totally for you because you can do it. You are enough and you are strong. I love going to races and marathons and 5Ks and 10Ks and all of the different race distances, and really seeing just all of the different levels of runner out there who are getting it done, who are really challenging themselves, especially the women. Myself as a female runner, I never thought of myself as a runner. To me, a runner, specifically a woman, was somebody who was very, very skinny. As you've seen in some of my pictures, I have curves. So I'm not that super skinny runner. And that's always what I thought running was. And it took me joining the running community and really understanding my body and how strong I am to realize that running is truly a sport for everybody. So for those of you out there who are thinking about running, who think that no, I can't do it, you can. There are different levels for everybody. Even if you're just walking, you're still getting the miles in, you're still getting the distance. I myself do run walk. So celebrate what you can do, celebrate your accomplishments, and remember that it's your race and it's your pace, which is part of what Run 50 States My Way is all about. So the way that I want to celebrate women as we draw to a close for March is to highlight two different books. So I'm a reader, love to read. If you also like to read and you have some different books that really inspire you, give us a comment below and let us know what books that you really like, or let us know those women runners that you want to shout out to and you want to praise. The first book that I want to do a little snippet about is called Depression Hates a Moving Target, and it's by Nita Sweeny. Nita actually is a local Columbus native. She lives here in Columbus where we live, and I've actually had the opportunity to meet Nita and run with Nita a couple times at different races and different events, and she just is truly an amazing person. This book, by the way, both books here I bought with my own money, and no sponsorships or things like that. And I do want to just do a little quick review to highlight why I love these books, but most importantly to celebrate the two women who are depicted in these books. So Nita's book is How Running with Her Dog Brought Her Back from the Brink of Mental Health and Depression. And this book is all about vulnerability and really shining light not just on how we have self-doubt early on, but how we challenge through that and how we push through that, and how running and movement truly is one of the best antidepressants out there. It helps get things moving. It helps our brain. It's an excellent coping strategy. You can run alone, or like I like to do, I'm trying to find some others, either one other person or a little group that you can run with. And Nita talks about that in her journey in her book. I love how she starts off the book, which this is written like a diary. It's pretty much her memoir, which is also what I really like. It's an easy read. It's 255 pages, but it reads really, really quickly. You could probably get this done in a day or two. I read it on a vacation, and it's a solid, great book. But how she begins her running journey is something that I really appreciate. And it's something I struggle with, which is, she started running in a ravine by her house with her dog just to get outside and to keep her dog fit. Instead of going on walks, she started running. But she didn't want anybody to see her, and she didn't want anybody to know she was running. And I totally get that, because I am not the greatest runner alone. I like to run with people. I love the energy you get at races, also what she talks about in the book. And it's just great. So I did reach out to Nita and ask her if I could celebrate her book in my vlog, and she did say yes. So Nita, thank you so much for the okay to do this. And I really hope that those of you out there who are looking for a great book that highlights running and mental health, that you pick this book up, because it's just absolutely fabulous. I do want to highlight two quick little excerpts from it just to give you a taste and a preview about why I love this book so much. The first is how she actually starts the book off. It's the prologue, and it truly made me laugh. I thought it was such a great way to start the book. My mind was trying to kill me again. Who do you think you are? It growled as I squatted in a green porta potty 4.5 miles into the Columbus Marathon. The sun shining on the top bathed me in gray light. The running partners I began the race with that morning and trained with for the past 4 months had gone ahead without me. They would have stayed. I'd spent a mile convincing them to leave after I could no longer ignore my bowels. Alone in the fiberglass cubicle, trying to avoid sitting down, I shivered with loneliness as I finished my task. Mom, Dad, Jamie, all dead. My ever-faithful husband, my sister, and friends, all still very much alive, were on the course but miles away. Even the dog, my other regular running companion, was absent, at home probably asleep. This left me in treacherous company, with only my mind forever critical. Someone in the line outside knocked. I would have to carry my heavy heart across the pavement solo. I'm a runner, I whispered to my mind. Then I pulled up my panties, opened the door, and ran. Nita, I love how you start this book. Again, it's super vulnerable, and it really talks about that self-doubt that some of us have when we are running a race and it's not going the way that we want, or we're trying that first distance that we never thought we could. For you, in the prologue, it's a taste of what your book is about, which is your journey from just running in a ravine with your dog all the way up to your first race, doing a 5K, and then working your way up to be a marathoner. Like me, I always thought that a runner was this accolade to achieve. Like a runner is somebody who runs Boston. And Nita found out the same way through her own journey that runners are anybody who is moving outside. It's the 5K, it's the 10K, and it's working your way up to a marathon. But to her, that was the ultimate. And that's something I haven't done yet. And I say yet, but I say never. So for those of you out there, Ashley, are you planning to run a marathon? No. And it's not recommended based on my, doctor and physical therapist. I run to also help with arthritis and things like that. 10K is my sweet spot. So I pretty much stick right around there, maybe one day a half. But for me, I know my body. And a marathon is something I leave to my husband, Ryan, so he can handle that one. But Nita did it. She accomplished it. And this book celebrates that journey, and I just love it. But how many of us have had that self-doubt where we're in the middle of a race and we're like, oh my God, this sucks. What am I doing here? So again, Nita, I love that you highlight that in your book. It really makes this book relatable to all of us who have been there. The last excerpt, I want to just take a quick moment and highlight the ending, which I absolutely loved. It's right after she runs the marathon, and it's recognizing her accomplishment and letting it all sink in. And it's why I think it's really important for all of us to wear our race shirt and our medal right after the race, because not only do we need it for our own feeling of pride and our accomplishment, but also it does really help us just shine. And some of us really need that shine moment. So I love that she puts on her race shirt and her medal and wears it around town, and what that does for her psyche is just really cool. So if running taught me anything, it was how to turn things around. So many times I had dreaded a workout only for it to turn out splendid. So many days I had been convinced I would get lost only to be thrilled by new scenery as I found my way. So many mornings I growled about rising at the butt crack of dawn, then wound up laughing with my friends. This was no different. The doldrums wouldn't last, especially if I took action. I pulled down the medal and picked up the shirt. Holding them empowered me. I changed into the shirt, put on the medal, and covered it with a fleece jacket. First, I drove to the local-owned coffee shop where I am a regular. Colin, the owner and lead singer in the band Watershed, took time away from his other orders to admire it. A few customers also wanted to see. Next, I drove to a nearby grocery where some of my friends work. I showed them the medal and puffed up with pride. Each one congratulated and hugged me. Tim, the coffee roaster, teased, "How did you get in the front door with your head so big?" I laughed. It nearly didn't fit. Several customers congratulated me too. This day, unlike the day of the race, I was fully present and took in their words. My chest filled and the sadness dissipated. I was letting myself shine. That night, I wore the medal to my recovery group. I let the hugs, compliments, and congratulations sink in. Any semblance of humility I might have had is gone, just gone. I said, a friend gave me a 26.2 mug and a pair of pink 26.2 socks. On the arch, they read, I go all the way. I let the warm sensations fill my body. I needed that delayed celebration. It extended the party the way it does when someone sends a late birthday card. My throat filled with tears. I was a marathoner. Again, Nita, I just love the way that you write. I love the way that you share your story. Again, it reads like a diary and a memoir, especially the part at the beginning with what running taught you in this section. I know myself, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like running today. And that ends up turning into such a great run for me. Or I don't like waking up at the butt crack of dawn and my friends keep me accountable, and how we all celebrate and then we'll go for coffee after. And how those runs really end up being some of the best moments. So thank you for your journey. Thank you for your story. And as we celebrate Women's History Month, I celebrate you and your book, and I highly recommend it to you guys out there watching. The other book that I want to highlight is a children's book, but it's not just any children's book. And first of all, I think children's books are amazing and can teach us so very much. This book is called The Girl Who Ran, and it's actually a biography. So Depression Hates a Moving Target, memoir, autobiography. This one is a children's book biography that tells the story of Bobbi Gibbs. Now, I thought that the first female Boston marathoner was the woman who they tried to pull out on the course. Her name is Catherine. I thought she was the first woman to run the Boston Marathon, but that's not true, and that's what this book taught me. Bobbi Gibbs was actually the first woman to run the Boston Marathon in 1966. And she had tried to enter the race. She had tried to submit her qualifying time, and the running community said, no, women can't run. The Boston officials said, no, you can't run in this event. So what did she do? She said, I'm not listening to you. And she put on her brother's clothes. She put a hoodie on, covered her blonde hair, and went out and snuck into the Boston Marathon and completed it in a record amazing time. I actually will have to look up what her time was because I can't remember off the top of my head. And coincidentally, this book helps by giving us a full history and timeline, which is great. As somebody who loves history, this is really important to me. So let's see. She finished the race ahead of about half the men who were running, and her time was 3 hours, 21 minutes, and 40 seconds. Wow, was she flying. So, we wouldn't be where we are as women if it weren't for women heroes like Bobbi, especially when we talk about trailblazers or rebels. To be a rebel means that you help to change things that sometimes need to be changed. And look at how many women run today and run races and run Boston. And we wouldn't be there if it hadn't been for Bobbi Gibbs. So little timeline down here. In 1966 was when Bobbi ran the marathon. And then it was in 1967 that Bobbi, as well as Catherine, ran, and the Boston Marathon officials attempt to physically remove the female runners from the course. So go women everywhere, go women runners, and especially go Bobbi and go Catherine for proving to the running community, especially the Boston running community, which is to me like the elite of the elite, that women deserve to be there and women are just as strong and fast as men. So I celebrate you, Bobbi, and I celebrate you, Catherine, and I celebrate all of the amazing women who have run Boston because you truly are my idols. I look up to you and you're just amazing. So with that, I want to end with the last line of her book, which is, she ran with a strength only hope can inspire. Just her and the sound of the wind in the fire. So to all women runners out there, as Women's History Month draws to a close, I hope that you run with a strength only hope can inspire. You find that wonderful inspiration wherever it is, and you just get out and you do things. Hopefully you liked this vlog celebrating women and 2 books that I really love. If you did like this video, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell, let us know that you liked the video by giving us a thumbs up, but most importantly, please subscribe as I take you and all of those runners and travel folks out there on our journey as we run 50 States My Way, all about travel, running, and adventure with me and my husband, Ryan.